Yup, you read the title right. We are going to be making a tier list of the afterlife. When I mean by the afterlife, I mean if we go through all of the world religions, every single theory that Alex Jones, anybody on the JRE has put forward, as long as it's unique, it is going to make this tier list. We got everything from heaven, hell, the simulation theory to just downright nothing. You see, it's a stressful time out there. Tensions are high. It's an election year. Everybody's feeling kind of scared. Well, I'm here to tell you, if the worst case scenario happens, statistically speaking, one of these has to be true. Come on, one of these has to be true, and I'm here to put them all into a tier list for your enjoyment. And with that little intro out of the way, because we got a lot to talk about, let's get straight into it. We're going to start off with, we're going to set our baselines really quick. Heaven and hell. I'm not going to try to be edgy here and be like that one weird dude in the back of your classroom that went on to do absolutely nothing with his life. That sounds a little bit like, well, I wouldn't even want to go to heaven anyways. Hell sounds a little bit better. No, the fuck it doesn't. What are you talking about? Well, what discussion are we having that you legitimately have to say this? You're not edgy, you're just dumb. Heaven S tier. Like, there's no question. And if... The other one that I gotta bring up is like, well, heaven actually kind of sounds kind of boring. It's like, really? This is the game? What afterlife wouldn't be boring if we're talking about eternity? Like, if we're gonna play that game, literally everything's boring. But, to set a baseline, heaven S tier, hell F tier. If I have to explain to you the placement between heaven and hell, dog, what baseline do you want here? You really can't get worse than that. Now that we have the simple baseline options out of the way, let's get into the fun stuff. And the reason that I'm only including heaven and hell and not like nirvana and like anti-nirvana. Does Buddhism even have an anti-nirvana? Or is it just yeah, I think it's just reincarnation. Is because just about every religion has the same heaven. If not with like little slight differences that aren't really worth talking about. Greek mythology basically has a rip-off heaven. Like, I'm sorry, yeah. That's why they're not on here, but Valhalla is. You see, heaven S tier, hell F tier. Now let's get into the fun stuff. Simulation. Okay. Imagine this. You are at the ripe old age of 78 years old. I think that's a pretty long life. You're talking to your grandkids. Your kids that are still alive. Shit, your great-great-grandkids, okay? They all come in to say goodbye to their grandpapa. And you say, by like tears welluping in your eyes, you look up at the ceiling of your hospital. The lights are starting to become blurry. And you say to yourself, it's been a good life. The moment you close your eyes, you see that fucking tunnel. And then, out of nowhere, it says, reload from last checkpoint. Yeah, we're talking about the simulation theory. This one, listen, there's a lot of different thoughts on the simulation theory. What's the purpose of the simulation? I've heard everything from we're actually aliens and we want to experience what it's like to be humans to somebody's a human in the future that wants to live back in time. I have heard every bit of theory under the sun, and really none of them sound great. Because it's not like when you're in the simulation theory, you can choose what life you want to live. Like, it's not like, boom, I'm done with this life. Now I've saved up enough credits to play as a Bill Gates in the next life. Imagine if that's what it was. All Elon Musk is the dude who did pay to win in, like, this simulation. Dude, I swear, if I'm living in a mobile phone game, I'm just playing, like, one of those real shitty, like, cardboard VR games in the future. And, like, this is the base option, and I'm, like, trying to grind my levels up. Meanwhile, Mr. Pay-to-Win Elon Musk could just put it all on a credit card. If that's what it is, that might actually be the worst. However, this kind of plays into the same, like, realm as a reincarnation deal. In all honesty, this one kind of fits in, like, a B tier. It's not quite like an A tier because... dog, it's simulation theory. Like, there is a little bit of a crisis that you're going to have when everything that you know is fake. And then you wake up and you have a choice to put in $5 more to continue the game. Like, I'm sorry, like, that admittedly, that's kind of depressing. But I'll put it in B tier because maybe I saved up enough credits to play as Elon Musk in the next life. Reincarnation. Now, I put together humans and animals. I understand that there's reincarnation for just humans and there's reincarnation with animals and humans. I'm putting them both together because is there really that big of a difference? Reincarnation and simulation theory, I feel like almost go hand in hand. The funniest part about it is simulation theory doesn't want to be associated with reincarnation. In fact, a lot of things that sound like reincarnation and like Scientology, we'll get to them in a second, they really don't like being called reincarnation. Like at all. And simulation guys don't like that. I feel like reloading from the last checkpoint in a simulation feels like reincarnation. Now, this one, it feels kind of cool. Like, I admittedly kind of like it. The thought that you can live through an entire life, end your life over, and based off the deeds of your past life, kind of dictates where you go next. If you were, I don't know if this is true, but if you were a loyal person in your past life, you're gonna become a dog in your next life. In all honesty, sometimes I've looked at my dogs and been like, low-key, your life seems pretty good. I mean, I say that now, but if I respawn as a Yorkie, I don't know how I would feel about that. I mean, like, I'd be able to laze around all day. You know, being a Yorkie might actually be kind of hype. As far as, like, reincarnation going back into another human, it feels like the same thing. Imagine going through your entire life only for you to meet, like, some dude in the sky, and all he tells you is, hey, did you figure out the secret of the universe? No? Okay. You're gonna be a starfish. Like, that's the bad part about it. At the end of the day, though, it feels more meaningful because it is like a real life and we're all reincarnating together. I'm gonna put it in an A tier. Like, it feels like it means more than simulation theory. Next up, nothing. Like, legitimately nothing. Like, when people say, like, oh, it just fades to black. Like, no. Black is the closest thing that you can visualize to nothing, but even that's not nothing. Now, as far as I would place this one, I mean, like, it's gonna sound effed up, but, like, it's the perfect mid. It is the perfect mid. Like, if you had a choice between nothing and hell, you would rather take nothing. Because it's not like it's black, but you still have your consciousness. No, it is just dissipate into absolutely nothingness, which is terrifying. But at the same time, I wouldn't say it's as bad as being tortured for all eternity. Like, I think C tier nothing is pretty valid. Perfect mid. Valhalla. A tier. I think A tier is actually pretty good for Valhalla. Now, the reason that I include Valhalla and not, like, Land of the Reeds or like, any other, like, heavens instead of, like, Judeo-Christian heaven is because, first off, they feel almost all the same, and at least Valhalla puts, like, a nice spin on it. Norse mythology is one of the funniest mythologies I've ever seen. Like, I love that people, like, hype it up like it's this super cool, like, warrior culture fighting to the death. It's like, dog, Valhalla in Norse mythology is what I imagine if you took a bunch of frat bros that, like, had trouble getting laid because all the women in their village were either taken at 7 years old or just died of childbirth. If you put all the frat guys together, and all they did was kill things and hunt, and you told them to come up with a religion, that's what I feel like Norse mythology is. I mean, you die in battle, and the only way you go to Valhalla is you have to die in battle. With a weapon in your hand, you can't be decapitated, and nobody can, like, disrespect your corpse. Like, that is the most bro logic I have ever heard. Okay, like, imagine you make it into Valhalla, and because somebody teabagged you, nope, take it back. He's in hell now. You see how that's weird? But I like the weirdness of it. And then you finally, like, you're done fighting, okay? Like, you died in battle. Now you get to go to Valhalla. What do you do all day? You spawn, I shit you not, you spawn into a battlefield where you then battle some more, okay? And when you die there, you respawn in the dining hall where you just drink mead and eat meat with your bros that also died in battle. Like, that's what I mean when Norse mythology, like Norse Valhalla heaven, is basically frat bro heaven. That's what it feels like to me, and in all honesty, at this point in my life, that kind of sounds kind of dope. I'm gonna put that one at an A+. Like, I feel like it would all, if you're gonna make the argument that heaven would be boring, I feel like Valhalla would eventually become tedious because, like, you eat and fight every single day. Next up, being a ghost. I mean, it would lose its appeal so quickly, dude. Like, you die, boom, you're an apparition. And then, like, what do you do all day? Like, legitimately, what are you doing all day? Like, you're knocking on doors and just hoping you get put onto a top 5 scary videos list. Maybe if you're lucky, Queso will debunk you. I mean, like, it doesn't sound like a great existence to me. And, like, you can also, maybe you could say that's like purgatory, like that's also like a Judeo-Christian belief, but it's like a friend's one. You could say that's what being a ghost is technically, but like, it doesn't sound cool. Dog, you're knocking on doors trying to get into a top 5 videos list, and every once in a while, you'll like talk to like a ghost adventurer and you'll like say something into a recording. It doesn't sound like a cool existence, and that's just me. In terms of like everything, probably C tier. Like, I might actually take nothing over being a ghost. Like, yeah, you can haunt your homeboys. That's it. Like, I'm sorry, like, dude, imagine this, right? You are married, okay? Imagine you are a married man, and you die in a car accident. You die by some crazy accident in your house, okay? Boom, you're a ghost. Instant a ghost. I don't know what the rules of becoming ghostified, but you're a ghost. Now you're haunting your house. But cool, you get to overlook your family. You get to, like, ghost pet your dog because apparently dogs can see a ghost and cats can see a ghost. It's a weird thing. So, like, you can kind of interact with them. You can see your family grow up. But then, your girl, your wife, gets a new man. Now you are haunting the house, watching your girl get clapped. Dog, I ain't doing that. I would rather take nothing than that. Dream. Believe it or not, this is actually according to Reddit and 4chan, mostly 4chan, this is actually kind of a pretty popular theory. Is that we're actually all in a coma. So we're in a coma, we are actually living the dream of, so there's two groups of thought. We are living the life that we wanted to live, which that's super depressing. Or we're living our memories up until we got a coma. And when we finally, we either get like hit by something or whatever. You see how this has holes in it, right? And you wake up. Or worse, it's a literal dream and you're just, dog, imagine how depressing that shit would be. Like, imagine what I said earlier. You're an old man. You see your life go before your eyes. You're seeing your daughter, your sons, your great-granddaughters, everything. You're seeing all that. All the dogs that you've had, all the dogs that have died in your life, okay? All that sad shit, right? You finally see the tunnel, right? The light at the end of the tunnel. That light at the end of the tunnel is somebody flickering on the fucking light in your room, and you just woke up. And it's like, okay, time to go to school. Dog, have you ever had a dream like that where, like, you went to sleep and you had, like, either a wife, a girlfriend, some shit like that, and you felt happy, and then you wake up and you realize that was all a dream? I've had that. I'm not even ashamed to admit that. And I've been, like, depressed for, like, 4 hours afterwards. That would be a completely different line. However, I would still take that. I mean, I might actually take that over nothing. Is it quite B tier, though? No. I'll take a dream over nothing, because at least I can redo it. Next up, this is 100% this might be the least known one on this list in every single video that I've seen somebody do this on. They have never brought this one up, and I feel like it kind of does it a disservice because this is 100% the most creative. Has anyone ever heard of the alien soul farm theory? So, to run you through, and this is kind of like an introductory into the eventual conspiracy theory tier list that I will do. The soul farm theory is in the name. So, it deals with aliens, panspermia, heaven, hell, all of that. I'm going to speed run this story for you. So, okay. Earth was a barren planet similar to like a Venus, Mars, something like that. And then what happened is these aliens called the Greys came over, and they introduced plant life into here. They also introduced water. That's why Earth is kind of as lustrous and green as it is. I'm not saying that's true. I'm just saying that that's the theory. Okay? So they do that. And then, through panspermia, they, what's the word for it? I'm just going to say panspermify the entire world. They seed the world with genetic life. You have all the animals, all that bullshit. And then, a couple billion years later, right? About hundreds of millions of years, maybe to a billion year later, humans start developing. You got these chimpanzees, and then you got like us, who's kind of like a halvesy. And then aliens come down, okay? They come down, and then now we're a product of accelerated evolution. I'm sounding a lot like Eddie Bravo right now. Humans are, in this theory, the result of heightened evolution. That's why we're so much more advanced than anything on this planet. But the reason that they did that is they had to give us the capacity to have souls. And the reason that you have to live a life here is that the power level of your soul is influenced by the stuff that you do in your life. The harder your life, the more you struggle, the more powerful your soul is. And don't worry, that's the fun part. We're going to the real depressing part. The whole point of human life is that when we eventually die, they have some weird-ass tool that kind of like as like a space vacuum cleaner sucks up all the human souls, and that's what they use to power their spaceships and everything. That's why we can never do it, according to 4chan. But yeah, that's the alien soul farm. We're basically getting spawn farmed like in Minecraft. Fucking terrible. F tier, bro. That like, it's creative, and maybe hell's admittedly not really creative if you really think about it. I mean, like, fun fact, a lot of like the illustrations of what hell and like demons look like don't even really come from the Bible. The Bible's actually really vague when they're talking about hell. It actually comes from Dante's Inferno, and Dante's Inferno, when people think like Dante was like this weird Satanist dude, no, dog, he was a real shitty writer. If you actually go into like Dante's Inferno, you realize real quickly that this was meant to be a comedy. And the reason that they labeled him a Satanist is he made jokes that every single pope goes to hell, and this was in the Catholic Church kind of ruled over all of Europe. So, yeah, that's why, that hell's admittedly not very creative. At least the alien soul farm theory is pretty good. Next one. You become one with stardust. Admittedly kind of cool. Like, I'm no lie, that one's admittedly kind of cool. From the gist of this theory, it's more as it kind of coincide with nothing, mixed with some, like, fringe stuff scientifically. So, we're all made of atoms, okay? And the atoms that you are made out of whether you like it or not, when you finally decompose, are going to go back into the cycle of the creation of everything. What this deals with is that eventually, the atoms that you are made up of are going to go back into, like, the great recycling of the universe, and you are made of stardust. That's partly where that saying comes from. And part of it is true. I mean, like, technically the atoms that you are made of did come from stardust at some point. The problem with this one is they have this weird idea that your soul kind of lives on, and you kind of have like this almost omniscient knowledge of things because you're going to be experiencing what the universe is like. Like, it's a weird one, but at the same time, it's weird in an intriguing way. I might actually put this one near the simulation theory. It's an interesting concept, but it needs a little bit more substance. At least simulation kind of... Like, simulation hits you. Like, that sales pitch, boom. We're in a video game. That hits hard. We're one with the universe. It sounds trippy. Next up, the multiverse theory. So, this idea is that when you die in this life, you're going to be transported into the multiverse that is to the neighbor of us, and then you're gonna live through that life. You see how this kind of has like problems with it, because in this idea you kind of have immortality in a sense, because every time you die you're getting transported to another body and you're living through that multiverse as you are. Now, is there really much substance to around this one? No, this one's kind of like, I feel like this one is like the nerdy way of reincarnation. I feel like they saw reincarnation, and there's a lot of ones like Scientology, the multiverse theory, and maybe even one with the universe, is they kind of take reincarnation and kind of like over nerdify it. Like, oh, well, you're not actually getting reincarnated, you're getting transported to another universe in the multiverse. Like, yeah, but for all intents and purposes, you are getting reincarnated, right? Like, it's kind of, I'm knocking them because they're trying to be creative and it's not super creative. But admittedly, I kind of have to put it in the same sense as like a B tier, but I'm knocking it from simulation because, again, simulation sells you immediately on what we're doing. Scientology. I actually want to, just in case none of you guys knew, the afterlife of Scientology, we're actually going to read what the afterlife for Scientologists is. A singer, Isaac Hayes, died on Sunday at the age of 65. Besides being a sex symbol and a soul music legend and beloved voiceover artist, Hayes was also a dedicated Scientologist. You gotta love Scientologists, dude. Like, they just seem like fun people. His soul will be born again into the flesh of another body. Guy, I hinted this in the beginning of the video. Scientologists don't want to be called reincarnation. They actually take huge offense if you say that their death is reincarnation. But born again into the flesh of another body, does that not sound, word for word, bar for bar, like reincarnation? No. According to the Scientology press office's FAQ puts it, the actual details of how the rebirth occurs is not fully understood by church outsiders. But some core beliefs of Scientology are that every human being is really an immortal spirit being known as a thetan. Remember that. Thetan, that the meat bodies we inhabit merely vessels that we set upon death. This is my beef with Scientology, because if you're gonna make up a religion, can you please be a little bit more with it? Like, the idea that we're souls in a meat vessel is literally just about every religion. It kind of is. Like, I'm sorry, if you're gonna make up a religion as the person who made it, like, the dude who made it up was a science fiction author that is quoted to be saying, hey, real money is in religion. I'm sorry, like, yeah, I don't have a ton of respect for that. Is really an immortal spirit. We might inhabit merely vessels as set upon death. Okay, that's cool, that's cool. Members of the elite church cadre known as Sea Org. Is that really what they're called? For example, sign contracts that pledge 1 billion years of Dog, they have a contract that pledges 1 billion years of service? Dog, Scientology might be the craziest one. When a body dies, it's the thetan that forgets the details of its former life. Though painful... If they forget... Dog, imagine Scientology's legit, you die, and you come back and I'm gonna call it reincarnation, and some motherfucker that's dressed up in a suit that calls himself the Grad Cardinal of SeaWorld comes up to you and says, yeah, I know you don't remember any of this, but you signed a contract with 1 billion years of service to us, so you're ours now. Bro. So according to Scientology, reincarnation does not void out a contract. Wild. Though painful and traumatic, images known as engrams remain rooted in... Holy shit, no way. Engrams remain rooted in the unconsciousness in order to move up the path of spiritual progression known as the bridge to total freedom. What a basic-ass name. One must eradicate these psychic scars, which cause a person to act fearfully and irrationally. Once a Scientologist has purged them through his counseling... No fucking way. You gotta pay to do a soul audit in Scientology? Dog, that's fucking wild. He or she is said to be clear. Dog, imagine going in for your annual soul audit that you have to pay $5,000 to get into. Fucking Tom Cruise is on the board of directors, followed by like 3 other people that are wearing a cloak and tie and probably have like a dagger on underneath. And they're here to tell you, yeah, bro, you got some psychic scars, and yeah, you're gonna have to come back. Here's another contract for 1 billion years of service. You signed it the last lifetime. According to avowed Scientologist antagonist... What the fuck is that name? Who claims on her website to present factual information typically omitted from church press materials, the official Scientology publication Celebrity announced that Hayes attained clear status. They cleared him around 2002, though it is not known whether he progressed to the highest parts of the bridge. I wonder if he did. I wonder if he did make it to the bridge. I wonder if he's with Spock right now. The operating Thetan levels, the details that happens in these advanced stages remain closely guarded, Scientology secrets, but at the very end of the process, Thetans are supposed to gain power over the physical world. So literally none of them have made it to the highest level. Okay. Consequently, according to LN, I don't give a fuck, feel no need of bodies, ending the cycle of birth and death and becoming pure incorporeal souls. Okay, get original, bud. If Hayes had progressed to high enough on the bridge, he might have begun preparing for his next life in the final days of this one. According to former Sea Org member Chuck Betty, some upper-level operating Thetans are said to possess the ability to choose They can choose their spawn! What? Dude, this reminds me when you're playing Call of Duty, they had to get rid of it because it was too broken, that like little piece of tactical gear that you can throw down, and when you die in the game, it just respawns you there. Dog, Scientologists have that built in. All you gotta do is pay $5,000 for a soul audit and you can get the perk. Fucking wild. In the widely... Dude... Lester Given describing how after death the Thetan is carried to a landing This is the good shit. Describing how death, the Thetan is carried to a landing station on Venus where it's programmed with lies. Put a capsule, then dumped back on her. Okay, bro, this is... How does this end? Okay, we're almost there, One of the church's official websites stresses that the beliefs in past lives is not mandatory dogma. Wait a minute, so you don't even have to believe what Scientology teaches to what? But rather a personal truth that most Scientologists come to as they go. So it's, you don't have to believe in it, but if you want to get cleared, yes. The website also stresses that scientists do not believe in reincarnation, unlike religion. You see what I mean? They actively disrespect reincarnation. Dog, you copied the flow. And all you gotta do is fucking pay a subscription service for your yearly audit for Tom Cruise to say, alright, you're good. Well, that's wild. Scientology. Low key, though, go... Oh, fuck, where are we at? Okay, we're back. Where did I put it? Oh, I put it behind. Okay, Scientology. All things considered, where would I put it? I mean, going to a landing station on Venus, and, yeah, I mean, it's better than a dream at the very least, and I'll tell you, I'll give a points for this. It's creative, but the thought of having to pay $5,000 for fucking Tom Cruise to say, yeah, you're not good, bud. I'm going to put it again right behind simulation theory. It's close. It nearly beats simulation theory. And finally, one of probably the second craziest one on the list, but is definitely is one that doesn't get talked about, is We Are God. Let me explain this one. So this one started I think 20 years ago. It's been going wild for a little bit. So the idea is that mankind was created to eventually be a companion to God. Okay, like the baby steps in here. Okay, that's like the first accepted step. Even like most Judeo-Christian beliefs have this idea that we're kind of supposed to be almost a companion. Kind of like there's some debate on that one, but like that's the least of your hurdles. But what we are actually is that every single being that will ever come into existence is a fraction of a whole soul of a God level, basically Lovecraftian entity. And when we eventually all die in either an apocalypse or something, all of the pieces of the soul are going to join together and become, basically, we are a jigsaw puzzle of a Lovecraftian god. We all come together, and then we're going to finally, through our life experience, we're kind of doing this just to build progression. We're kind of XP farming, and instead of like one of us doing it, we're all participating in this Lovecraftian XP farm, and we're all going to come together at the very end, and we're going to be best friends with the other god. You see how this one's kind of wild? Outside of that, I mean, like, I creatively, it's kind of dope, but, I mean, it kind of is a simulation, though. This one might make it A-, because, it's creative, so it hits the creative part. it admittedly is kind of cool to all be one. This kind of deals with, like, I'll put it in A-. Fuck it. It'd either be a B plus or A-. It's slightly more creative than Simulation Theory. Simulation has a better sales pitch. This one, I mean, this one has a pretty good sales pitch. I'm not even gonna lie. But overall, this is gonna be my ranking of every type of Afterlife, roughly. I know I missed a few, but don't be taking this video too seriously. Thank you, everybody who is here this far. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoyed hearing me rant about Scientology. And I hope you learned something new in this video. And if you did, please consider like, comment, subscribe. We're trying to get to 1,000 subscribers on this channel. I think we'll reach that pretty soon. And yeah, thank you guys for watching. And I will see you all next time. Adios.